What is going on, everyone? We are here. You know, I'm going to borrow a Not Sam thing here. I think we're all here because we have feelings. I know I do. I mean, what an amazing SummerSlam it was. One of the best ones I've seen, I think, in a long time. And so many things to talk about. So many great matches we saw this weekend. And obviously, just coming off our what we just did. And how, you know, obviously that match with Cena and Cody, no interference, nothing from the outside until the very end. But man, oh man, Jeff, it just an incredible 2 days. I think from the WWE in one of my favorite SummerSlams of recent memory, anyway. That I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was a good night of. Good 2 nights of wrestling. Right.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say at the end in terms of fan reaction, but yeah, I enjoyed both nights. I thought tonight, from a storytelling perspective, it was a lot more brutal because some of the storylines had more brutality and more stakes to them than the matches last night. Not saying that those didn't, but yeah, I thought tonight was really good, and last night was as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and I mean it just because it's fresh in my mind. Last thing I watched, I went in, you know, especially after what Triple H was saying last night about, you know, you ain't seen nothing yet. I went into this Cena and Cody match thinking we're gonna get almost like a replay of what happened with Cody and Roman. And I kept thinking there was going to be interference left and right, people coming out of the woodwork. I'm thinking that this is going to be, and we didn't. We got none of it. We got absolutely nothing. But I said to Jeff, guys, I texted Jeff and said, I think this is one of Cena's best matches I've ever seen him wrestle. I really do. And Cena's been around for a long time, been a great wrestler. But man, did he bring it? They both did. And I'll tell you, like I said, it was a street fight, but it was clean. You know, they did some nasty things to one another, but there was no outside noise, no none of that. So yeah, what a way. And I said to Jeff, you know, the emotions come when you see John Cena, and I guess, you know, I think everybody was thinking he was lying, Jeff. Like he was, you know, he was pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. He was saying all the right things, but
me included.
Right? I had that thought too. But I'll tell you, you know, he what he did was, holy, did he put? I mean, Cody got put over even more than he already was. and we heard, Jeff, the rounds of boos going through, like the rounds of boos for Cody. And I think really a lot of people maybe kind of felt that Cody was going to turn at any one point in time. And he was doing some heelish things, when he was hitting him with that metal bar. He was, so I think a lot of people just got all into that thinking that Cody was going to turn, and he didn't. And oh my gosh, as if Cody needed to be put over even more than he is. John just did it. And man, hats off. And I'll tell you, Jeff, I hope that this John Cena stuff culminates in them taking that title and giving it to him to go home with, like he asked. He deserves that. He absolutely deserves that. But what a match. What a match.
Yeah, I'll get into it more when we get into night 2. But
yeah. Yep.
But all they did was they gave us an old school no DQ street fight.
Yep.
Not much interference, just the two people involved. That's all they felt was needed, which, hey, I know I saw a lot of people out there saying, well, so-and-so is going to show up. I thought the same thing. I'm not even going to lie. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good. We got a really good match that was old school, that felt important, that matched the moment, I would say. And so yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it was really incredible. And so what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna run through it all. We're gonna go night 1 into night 2 and talk about what stood out and everything for us. So let's go back a little bit and we'll backtrack, and we'll start at the beginning of night 1, and then we'll get back into night 2 very soon. Is James Chadwick joining very late night? Brock is back, and oh my God, if they call him the Beast, holy, does he look? Oh my God, he's bigger than he was. I didn't know if it was possible, but oh man, that's going to be a great last. I mean, how many big appearances do we have yet for Cena? Whatever it is, it's what a feud that's going to be to end his career. So in WWE, I mean, he just absolutely huge. So thank you all for coming. By the way, I should say that all first. I know we kind of planned this a bit. It was kind of an impromptu thing. But thanks for coming out and supporting the channel. We appreciate all of you. And we'll just say, I know some people I'm sure might watch this afterwards. So for those of you who are new to the channel and you've never maybe watched us before, thanks for joining and checking it out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like on the stream for us tonight as well, and hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have future content also. So, all right, let's look at night 1, and we'll just go match by match here. We of course started the whole thing off with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns going up against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. They're now calling those shoes wearing over his neck the Shoeafalla. I think they named that. But Jeff, this to me, what I took out of this was that Braun Breaker is an absolute animal and is going to be just a stud in wrestling for a long time. And also, Jeff, the fact that the Roman Reigns putting himself on the line for Jey Uso at the very end of that match just said so much to me about where Roman has gone now in his career. And we all know Roman is a part-timer. He's not going to be around very often. And, and when he comes out and he does his thing, he's going to do things like this. So, now you could see it, Jeff, that, maybe we'll see even less of Roman Reigns. And he looks like he's at that point in his career where he is putting over guys now going forward. So,
yeah. He, the highlight for me, I agree. I think Braun Breaker is a star on the rise.
Yep.
I don't think you can sell Bronson Reed short either. I think he held his own. the moment that blew my mind in all of this was when Roman jumped out of the ring.
Oh my God, I was nervous when he did that.
I was too.
He almost took off over both of them, actually, and I'm like, thank
yeah.
goodness they recovered and they stayed in front of him a little, just enough. Yeah, I was nervous, man.
he overshot them big
He
time.
did.
I was worried about him, getting injured, but he got out there. For those who said, well, yeah, the whole Jay thing was a fun little moment, but his moment has passed. Tell the fans that.
Yeah.
Because the fans love him so, and he's awesome. So, but this was a great match. I think the right team won, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, oh my God, what an anticipatory Raw that is going to be. Like you're going to have so many people. And I know I had read that they had because a lot of times I guess they put out early scripts for Raw and SmackDown. The scripts were blank. There's nothing. So they're starting over. And that's this late in the year, that's saying something. But oh my God, yeah, Raw can't miss. Absolutely can't miss tomorrow night. So Superman flew. Meta 5. Hey, Meta 5, what's going on? Thanks for joining. But this was really cool, man. Like I said, Roman taking the spear, Roman with the dive off the, it had some amazing moments. And obviously, Paul Heyman, oh boy, man, Paul Heyman just comes out the winner, no matter whose side he chooses, or who he chooses to be with. He always just seemed to be, in the right corner of the right guys at the right time. But look, I thought it was a great way to open the show. Jey Uso, Jeff, like you said, is still hugely over with the fans. And, I get it. I know a lot of people were complaining he didn't have a long reign and stuff like that. But, you're even hearing him. He's doing some interviews and he's talking about because now you saw some like of that behind the scenes. Of course, if you watch that. But you saw some behind the scenes with him and about how, and then he came out in an interview and he said, I kind of got a little full of myself. And, so, he's going to be, he's the future. No doubt he's the future. And that's not going to be the last time he's going to hold gold in this company. But it was a great way, I thought, to start off the show. A lot of energy, a lot of back and forth. And it was one of those matches, Jeff, where you kind of didn't know where they were gonna go with it. Yeah, both teams looked like they could have won really at any point.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun.
It definitely was. Yep, it definitely was a great way to start off the show.
Yeah.
Obviously, then we're going to transition. We got our first women's match. Of course, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, the unexpected team up of those two huge rivals, and then going up against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez for the women's titles. I thought this was a fun match. I thought I knew which way they wanted to go with this, and kind of take advantage of Alexa and Charlotte. And, you had that one thing at the end there where they made you a little unsure because she really hauled off and cocked Charlotte, man. And you're like, oh no. And you're thinking, well, Charlotte goes back to being old Charlotte, and there was all that little bit of doubt there. And, but this was a fun match. I think the right team won at the right time. Now you're going to have to see what's going to go on with the Judgment Day as well. But this is just a fun pairing, Jeff. And you know what? I think that this was needed for this chapter of Charlotte in the WWE. People were booing the hell out of her. She was someone they loved to hate. And now teaming up with one of the most loved and beloved wrestlers in Alexa Bliss. And now all of a sudden Charlotte finally gave her the hug. They told her I don't know if you guys watched the post show last night, but they came in and said, fans were going, hug it out, and then finally they did, and then the crowd went nuts. So and this is cool, Jeff, because again, I think we take for granted how extremely good Charlotte Flair is. And, I know on some of our streams back in the day, we were kind of making fun a little bit because Charlotte was everywhere and anywhere. But, look, she is just an unbelievable talent. And, when you hear her story about having to follow her dad and coming in, and I know Natty was talking a little bit about her over the weekend, saying that, she was so scared because knowing she had the shoes to follow. But I'll tell you, man, I love this run for her. She's got the fans now behind her, and I think this is a great pairing for the two. Now, could they end up going at each other at some point? Absolutely. You can certainly see that they could turn on one another at any point in time. And who knows? Maybe they'll put the shoe in the other foot, and maybe Alexa will be the one that'll turn on Charlotte and elevate Alexa up to the point of where a lot of people thought she might be, the Wyatt Six thing and everything like that. But this was just fun, Jeff, and I think it was a good thing for them to put the belts on them. They're hot right now, and we'll see. I don't think this is going to be a short little run though, where some people have lost on the very next Raw or the very next show. These titles seem to get put back and forth, but I think they'll have a nice little run for a bit.
I think so. Yeah, I think I really like this team.
Yeah,
a lot. It's the odd couple, which yes. I love those types of pairings. So
yeah,
but yeah, this was really good too. I thought that they would win. I felt like, maybe let this team kind of have a little run and see what happens from there. But yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, me too. This was I enjoyed this, and like I said, I'm enjoying the turn for Charlotte Flair too. So, all right, let's move on to our next one here on our list. What's that? There we go. We have, of course, Sammy and Karrion Kross. This one was interesting to me because I didn't necessarily expect the end result. Although I know I listened to C's video last night that he was mentioning and saying how Karrion's contract is coming up, which is very interesting to me. But I don't know, Jeff. I mean, he is, again, so beloved by fans. The fans just love Karrion, and you could hear the reaction and stuff to him when he comes out. But I would have thought, honestly, here, I think of all the results that we got, this one kind of stunned me, maybe more than most of the others. I really kind of thought Karrion was going to win this match. I really did. And now I have to say, knowing that his contract is coming up soon, I'm a little nervous maybe about what is coming next for Karrion Kross. I hate to see him go, and I hate to say that. And I don't want to jump to any conclusions. But it just seems to me like they went with Sammy here, and I just don't know. But I don't know, man. I enjoy what Karrion Kross does, and I think fans are just starting to get back into it. And we had the result that we did, and he lost.
Yeah. I think with Kross, they're just I don't know. I think there are just certain talent that, for whatever reason, just don't mesh with whatever WWE does. They either don't know how to use them, or aren't doing much with them, or whatever the case is. I feel like that's the case with Kross. He's awesome.
Yep.
And he's super talented. And I just feel like he deserves a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
Yep, I agree. I 100% agree. And look, I hope that that everything that, I hope they do re-sign him. I think that the fans are showing it. The fans are speaking, and they're showing that they love this guy, and I'm one of them. I like Jeff too. We used to talk about Karrion Kross quite a bit on these shows, and especially on on the Bray Wyatt stuff all through the years, because of his relationship with Bray. So I think he's a very good talent, a hidden talent, and I like I said, I hope this wasn't the end for Karrion Kross in a WWE ring. That said, if it is, I just hope he continues his career, and we continue to see him in a wrestling ring. So, but Sami goes over again, and again, I'm never shocked when Sami Zayn wins. He's always that underdog and stuff like that, and almost no matter what match he's in. But Sammy's just beloved as well. So, all right, next up we've got Tiffany Stratton retaining against Jade Cargill. Jeff, this was really no surprise to me that Tiffany retained. I think it was the right move in the long run. Jade is great. Jade is great, and she's going to be great for a long, long time. I just think it was probably not her time to get that belt just yet. But again, she is going to be a force to reckon with, Jeff. But there's also that that you could still tell she's just a little bit raw, and there's still some things I think that she could need to learn as she goes yet before she ends up getting that rocket strapped to her and getting that title.
Yeah, with Jade, I feel like she's improved so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see Jade maybe winning a different title at some point. But that just I was a little shocked, honestly. I thought it was going to be the time for Jade to win, but yeah, Tiffy has a lot going for her.
Yeah,
she's been a great champ. So yeah, I can't fault the decision, obviously, because I don't make it, but no, I thought Jade was going to win because I think she's just improved that much, and I think every time we see her, she gets better and better. So
yep, and Jeff, I think that this could be one of those ones where you could see. She might have to climb the ladder back up again, and you could see. I could totally see Jade Cargill winning the Rumble. Could totally see it, where she ends up getting a shot right away again next in WrestleMania anyway. So I could totally see that happen. She's really, really come a long way. Really, really has. She looks better and better in every match that she wrestles. And I mean, looks amazing, obviously. I love her character, kind of taken after Storm from Marvel. So yeah, but she both of these women, Tiffany, we'll see who they built. Some people are saying Julia. Big Dan's thinking. Who knows? I don't know who they have in mind to possibly take that title off of Tiffy, because she is again hugely popular right now with the crowds as well. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it was a good match, and yeah, I think a lot of people maybe thought that title might change, but I just don't think it was the time yet for her. Next up, we've got this one here. Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre against Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. Jeff, all I can say is Jelly Roll shocked me as to how much he put in the work for this. And hats off to him. Hats off to him. First of all, for losing all the weight. 240 some odd pounds that he lost is a feat in itself. And also, but just the amount of time that he has spent putting in the work, I think he earned a lot of people's respect, even Logan Paul, I'm sure behind the scenes. And, you saw him in clips working out in some of the WWE training centers and things like that. And I'll tell you, Jeff, I don't know that I have seen another celebrity. And I know, some people say, well, Logan Paul. I don't even think Logan Paul necessarily can be put in that category anymore. Logan Paul is part of the WWE, whether you like it or not. And so, but Jeff, I think he may have done the best job of any celebrity that we have seen in these kind of matches so far. So hats off to him. Was just, and some of the stuff that and the way he sold things may have impressed me more than the way he wrestled. But yeah, kudos to him, man. He did a great job.
Yeah. He impressed me. And I know a lot of people have issues with celebrities or quote unquote outsiders being a part of things. But when you have folks that take it as seriously and with as much respect as people like Jelly Roll, people like Bad Bunny,
Paul,
you just got to tip the cap to them.
Yeah,
because I mean, this is completely new to them. It's not like they've been doing this for years and years, like a lot of other people in WWE or any other promotion. So, I enjoyed it. I got a kick out of him having to be taken back and then coming back out, not giving up. That was cool. So, and you can tell that he really put in the work when it came to his training.
I know Jelly's playing like a face character, obviously, but man, with the way he looks, the kind of scruffy beard and all that kind of stuff, wow, would he fit in with the Wyatt Six if he ever did something with them, wouldn't he?
If he wanted to.
He looks the part.
I'm sure they could make something work.
Yeah, so I kind of doubt that that's the last time we're going to see Jelly Roll in a ring. I wonder who taught him that black hole slam. Right? Yeah, man, amazing, just absolutely amazing job. And this was a fun match. And I saw a few times during the match, Jeff, Randy Orton just kind of smiling.
Yep.
And again, Randy, he's another one. Just at the point in his career where you can just see how much he's enjoying wrestling. And he's another guy. He's not worried necessarily about titles and championships. He's at that point where he's just having fun, just like he did with Joe Hendry and stuff like that. He's having fun, and you could see it. And it's great to have Randy back. Randy was injured for that long period of time. We didn't know he was coming back, and it's great to just see him having fun at this point in his career too. So, and then of course we have the main event. CM Punk and Gunther for the heavyweight championship. And CM Punk gets to live his dream for all of 5 minutes. And Gunther, look, like him or not, Jeff, Gunther is the future of this company. He is. People are saying about him, Jeff, that you could stick him in any era. You could put him in the 80s, the 70s, the 2000s, whatever. Gunther's going to be around and relevant for a long time. Yeah. And he just, wow. Like, what a match between these two. Probably one of the best matches I've seen Punk have. And I'm sure that's a lot of that has to do with the dance partner he had. And then the blood shocked me. How often do we see blood like that in WWE anymore?
Yeah.
And that shocked me when he came out blood soaked like he did. I mean, that was old school stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Punk, of course, getting the win. And the sad part about this, Jeff, and the big part about this is all people are going to talk about with this is the end. And it's kind of a shame because it was a hell of a match. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. Look, it's kayfabe is alive and well. And this Jeff was old school. When you go back to reading magazines about wrestling before the times of the socials, before the times of all of this, when we talked to Nikita Koloff, Jeff, back in the early days, and he's telling us stories about old school wrestling. Jeff, the guys in old school used to walk around sometimes pretending they were injured. and things like that because they were trying to sell stuff. This is what they were doing. And this was about as old school as it gets. And I heard when they talked about Seth pulling a Willy Wonka. He did, man. He had the crutches. He was walking even to the point, Jeff, where he walked away. I was thinking he just came out to say, I'm going to see you in 5 months. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he walked in and he stopped and I'm like, oh God. And bloop, he pulls the Willy Wonka off, come the crutches, and CM Punk's face dropped. You just saw the white just on his face, like, oh, you saw him with the eye roll, and he's like, son of a, he got me again. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this was brilliant. And I know, a lot of people, Jeff, you and I talked about the stuff with Goldberg on our last show. Yeah. And Goldberg was saying, I can't say anything about this because there's something else happening. There's something else in play. Well, obviously we know what he was talking about. That was in play. But I'm telling you, man, it was the best. Look, Seth's had 2 cash-ins now like this. 2. And they were probably 2 of the best ever. And you know what's going to happen from this. Punk is going to probably, this is not over by a long shot.
No.
And Punk is going to go into the Rumble. More than likely, he may be the Rumble winner next year. And of course, he's going to pick Seth to wrestle at WrestleMania. And was just absolute brilliance again. And you see the guy hugging Seth. I'm sure he was probably in on a lot of it. But, oh, man, just phenomenally done. Seth was even on, and I didn't know this because I don't watch the Rich Eisen show, but he was the guest host of the Rich Eisen show, and he was sitting there with the knee brace and all that kind of stuff on. So either, Jeff, this was all a ruse from the start, or maybe he did tweak the knee a little bit, but it wasn't enough to keep him out for months and months and months like everybody was saying. So, and we still don't know. And maybe we won't know until someone tells us something down the road. But, oh, my gosh. I don't think people know how to feel because they were celebrating that Punk was winning. That whole crowd was going crazy. And then Seth comes out, and then they're cheering for Seth. Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. Don't ever tell me that kind of stuff isn't alive and well in wrestling because what an ending.
Yeah, that was a shocker. That was a shocker for sure. Going back to the match.
Yep.
The match was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
It was incredible. It was brutal.
Yep.
It was strategic.
Yep.
It was just a great match. And I'll be honest with you, I was happy at the end when Punk. I was happy. I was like, man.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, he's been fighting for it for a while. He's been trying. He gets his opportunity. Shoot, he made Gunther bleed. Yeah, he deserved it. And then this happens, and it's just funny because there's I think in everyone there had to be a little small part of you saying at the end, and I'll tell you one of the things that tipped it off for me is that, like, it really drove it home for me. They took entirely too long.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
On Punk in the ring. I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
they did.
He's in there way too long.
Yep.
If I'm him, I got to get out of there because who knows who's gonna come. Let me get out of here. And he didn't do it. And I was like, okay, yeah, that Seth's got to be doing something. And, it was. The other part that made me laugh is a clip I saw on social media of Becky Lynch, and she said, "Oh,
I saw that too.
Misleading things on social media." I was like, "That's what I'm talking about."
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think she said something like, "Oh, you guys really believe everything you read on social media, huh?" Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Nice. Yep, brilliant." Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. It was an unbelievable way to end the night, and the fans were going absolutely crazy. A
Yeah.
lot of back and forth, but yeah, the match was really really good. Like I said, I'll tell you, both men. This is a match that could certainly be one of those ones we could end up talking about again as one of the best of the year. I really think at the end in our end of the year awards,
Yeah.
it was that good. It was that good, and Punk and Gunther both. Like Jeff said, all those chops actually making Punk bleed from the chest. I mean, you saw the blood coming down. There was no bars held. They were just tremendous. Both of them were just amazing.
Yeah, they both did just an incredible job. I thought, I thought that that was a tremendous match. And then again, going back to the moment, James asked a very interesting question here, because I was going to say, even though Seth Rollins gets a lot of love, a lot of praise, I still don't think people put him historically where he belongs.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer he has. I'm sure it's a bit. But at this point in his career, I think it's safe to say he's cracked my top 10.
Yeah.
All time. And he's quickly moving up the list for me.
Yeah.
Because he's just that good.
Yeah.
The promo, great in ring, pulling stuff like this off, fantastic.
Yeah. He's just a guy, Jeff, that is just good at just about everything. You can't really look at him and say what a weakness is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like who would have thought all those years back from NXT to now, where he's come. And you almost have to say,
even before, like with Ring of Honor and everything he had done before. I mean, he it wasn't like somebody just handed him the keys. I mean, he grinded to get there. But once he got there, things might have been different. But to get there, he worked his butt off.
Yeah,
and he still does.
You could even look at the Shield, Jeff, and he was almost kind of like the low man on the totem pole in the Shield. The other two eclipsed him, and so yeah, I mean, he has just and I got to tell you now, looking back at it, the move to pair him up with Heyman, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yep. It's like whoever Paul goes with is that next guy that got that rocket strapped to him, and it's just amazing where this is going to go. Amazing. A great night one, guys. It was I thought it was a great night one. And so I came
if you had to give night one a score, what would you give it? Same question to the chat.
What are we going? Out of 10, out of 5?
Out of 10.
Out of 10? I give it a solid 9, man. I'd give it a solid 9. I thought it was very good. There weren't any matches in there that I thought were boring. There were no matches that I would have turned off, no matches that I would have kind of half paid attention to. And I got to watch the entire thing. Now, tonight was a little different for me because I didn't get to see the first two matches. Unfortunately, I got home from work late. But I'd give it a solid 9. I think it built the hype. I think all, the matches we got were either really, really good, really, really fun, kept the audience going. I thought the order, too, and order is very important in a 2-night show. If you don't get the order right of these matches, you can really lose fans throughout the course of the night because it's still long. It's still 3.5 hours that they're sitting there. Mm-hmm. So that is very important to line it all up good. But I thought the beginning, middle, end, the whole night, Jeff, I thought was good. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm at about an 8.5. I thought it was a great night. I enjoyed all of it, honestly. Mm-hmm. The Sami Zayn cross match was one that was a little bit of a head scratcher for me.
Yeah, that was for me too. Yeah, the result especially. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was happy with the women's WWE Women's Championship,
Mm-hmm.
um, but kind of thought it would go a different way. But
Okay.
that's just me. I enjoyed it though. I mean, well, I'll get in all of that. I'm trying to sell it. So
We could go back at the end even too and like pick our favorite match of
yeah,
each night and
yeah,
and do it and do that as well. So
yeah.
I see some people are scoring 8.75 for Deanna, 9 for Dylan, and a 9 for Chris. Night one was a solid 10, despite being crestfallen about Cross losing. Um, all right. Well, let's move on to night two. Obviously, this one is going to be fresh in everyone's minds. We just got done with the show. So let's go over the night two stuff. Now, Jeff, I'm going to rely on you a lot here because, again, I didn't get to see all of the first match, and I only saw the very, very end of the TLC title match. So I'm going to defer to you until I can get back and watch these a little bit later on. So,
Okay.
Jeff, obviously Naomi retained, which I do believe
Yes.
is the right choice there. And Ripley Neo Sky. But yeah, go through all the details because I did not get to see it.
Yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun too, and for me, it went on to prove to people that if you had any doubts about Naomi belonging or her ability, here you go.
Yeah.
She was very smart at the end and pulled a little tactic when Rhea definitely probably had EO pinned.
Okay.
So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. They knocked it out of the park, and it was a great way to set the tone for the night. I thought EO, I think, is someone that's underrated. Rhea is a flipping superstar.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about women's superstar. I'm just talking about in general in professional wrestling. Rhea Ripley is one of the biggest stars. Period. The crowd reactions. I mean, yeah, she's gold. So she may not have the title now. She'll get it back. She got a long career ahead of her, hopefully, and she will get that title back. I could see her possibly challenging someone at WrestleMania, but yeah, this was a really great way to start out the show. With the tag team, and you said you got to see a little bit of the end of this one.
Only saw when they won. When I walked in the door, they literally had them up on the ladder and showing the title, and I'm like, okay,
Joe,
they won. That's all I saw.
I typically don't react or cringe or do anything like that when it comes to matches unless you got thumbtacks.
Yep.
Yeah. But there were so many spots in this match. And before I get into the match, it was awesome having the Dudleys there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And the Hardys were there.
Oh, no kidding.
So
Man.
it was awesome having them there to witness all of it. The Candice LeRae spot. So she goes in to help Johnny and Tommaso, and she climbs up the ladder and she's trying to reach for the titles. Somehow Montez, I think he knocks one of them into the ladder. She falls off the ladder into another ladder, breaks it in half.
Oh man,
that spot was crazy. Then there was a spot where they had two tables stacked on two other tables, and yeah, like that was a crazy spot. Seeing Ray Phoenix go over the ring post onto a table on the outside. That whole match was just crazy. Having the Wyatt Six having the numbers game though,
yeah,
what is the difference? But I love the fact that the women associated with the tag teams in this match came down and got some shine. That was awesome too. So, but this was a lot of fun. This was a crazy match. I said this to someone earlier, but I just hope that everyone is healthy after that because of some of the spots in there, in particular Candace, because that was a nasty spill through that ladder.
I am excited to watch it. All of this, and I did get to see, and the end was a bit emotional, man. It's all Bo always doing that to me at the end of these matches, and how he comes out front and he says, he does this thing where he goes, "This is all for you." We know who he means, and it's great that they fell into that, right? Like, who would have thought? We were wondering where this was going to go, and now they're on top of the world with those championships, and what a change for the Wyatt Six, where people always kind of kept them away from titles and things like that, and now they're on top of the world, and they've certainly fit right in to that tag team division. So I can't wait to watch it. Especially after Jeff's explanation and stuff like that. So, and you guys in the chat, I can see everybody typing in caps. That always shows me that it was probably one hell of a match. So I'm excited to go. I'm excited to go back and watch both of those, which I will do after I watch the post show after I get off of here. So that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that they were both really, really cool. The next one up, we've got the Women's Intercontinental Champions, of course, Becky Lynch and Lyra. Oh, my God, did these guys kill each other. They just absolutely killed one another. I mean, some of the stuff in this, it was brutal, man. Using Becky Lynch using zip ties, and oh, my God, they were just torturing one another all through this match. And, of course, Bayley got involved. And ultimately, Bayley, cost Lyra the match. So, of course, we can see where that's going. And nobody really knew for a couple seconds what Bayley was going to do. Is Bayley going to help her out? Is she down there for the horsewomen thing? Was it it? So now we kind of don't know, but we know where that's going. But that was a brutal. I mean, look, those kind of matches, I have seen some brutal matches over the years. And I know a couple of people have already said this in the chat. The women are shining right now. Mm-hmm. We're coming off that big women's pay-per-view, and now we got all of this. And that match was amazing between Becky and her. You just saw the hatred between the two of them and the torture they put each other through. And all throughout that match, you didn't know who was going to come out on top. But brutal. One of the most brutal matches like that I've seen. Kudos to Becky and Lyra and of course Bayley, but kudos to the women. They just did. And I know people have said that in chat already. And I'm kind of just mimicking what they said, but kudos to the women. They are just knocking it out of the park.
Yeah. This match, like you said, was so brutal, so vicious. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And if you think about the story leading up to now, the violence that we got in that match fit the story. So kudos to Becky, kudos to Lyra, kudos to Bayley. Because I feel like Bayley and Lyra, y'all got to have a problem now because, come on, into that match, come on. So, James pointing out that Becky's gear reminded him of the NWO Wolfpack. I got those vibe. So that was a heck of a match, though. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it.
Becky went to a new level of sadism. Yeah, I never thought, and you could just see the expressions on Becky's face, just the disdain that she has for her, and like the hatred. And she just stopped at nothing. And Lyra kind of had to stoop to that level in order to even try to combat that. And she kind of did at the end. But it's probably too little, too late at that point. But yeah, man, it was a brutal, brutal match between those two, and of course that's going to be the end of that feud. They're going to move on, but man, it was absolutely awesome. That match between those two. Becky's gear reminded me of the Wolfpack. Gear of the night was AJ's. I loved his entrance and gear. I thought night one was kind of boring. Okay, Deadman. All right. All right, moving on.
You know what? I got to stop right there.
Go ahead, dude.
I got to say something.
Go ahead.
I got to say something. So my question is, because and this is just me, because I see this so often with wrestling. And I get some of it, but then again, I don't. So my question to you and anyone else who feels this way, and please understand, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but my question to you is, in your eyes, how could it have been done differently? Because I think a lot of times as wrestling fans, what we do is we come to the table with a lot of problems and a lot of complaints and a lot of stuff that this person's gear pissed me off, so now I hate whoever, or whatever the case may be. And I don't even want to get into all of it because this isn't a grievance show. But at what point as wrestling fans do we go back to becoming fans, is my question. Because I feel like in this day and age, all of us think that we have the right way to book a show. And when it doesn't get booked the way we think or feel it should, it's boring, it sucks, all of this stuff. So my question is, and it's a legitimate question, how do you improve it? What would you have done differently? That's my question. All right. Off my soapbox, off that, let's go back to the thing.
No, it's all good. I mean, that's a good point. It's a good point, and we're not trying. It's not singling you out, Dead Man. But
no.
I haven't seen comments like that from anyone, and that includes going on the socials. This isn't a WWE thing, although I know why WWE gets some of that, but this is a wrestling thing, and these men and women, whether you like the company or not, go out there and they bust their behinds to entertain all of us. So I'm just trying to understand where the disconnect is at this point, because nobody's going to have a perfect show. And I don't know. I'm but yeah, I would never have used I mean, it kind of shocked me too, because I would never have used the word boring for either one of these shows. I would never. It didn't bore me at all, and I've been bored by wrestling in the past, but I would not look at either one of these shows as boring. I know when I'm bored watching a wrestling show because I'm tuned out. I'm watching my phone or I'm doing something else. I'm not paying really all that attention. I paid attention to all of the stuff I've watched from these last two nights, all of it. So to me, that's definitely not boring. That is definitely not boring to me. But that's my opinion and not everybody else's sense of boredom, I guess. So, yeah. All right. Where are we at here? We're moving on to we've got the steel cage match. So we had our first steel cage match in a while. Of course, it's Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Jeff, I look, again, cage matches usually get brutal. This one got brutal. I love Jacob Fatu's energy. I really do. He's a very entertaining dude. That guy is going to have a long career ahead of him because he can play any character that they decide to give him. If they want him to be a face, he'll be a face and he'll do it well. If they want him to be a bad guy, he will do that well too. He's just a fun guy to root for. And Jeff, I'm sure that mask was probably a Jason Baker special that he came to that ring in, because damn,
oh man,
damn man, I I didn't look at Jason's page yet to see if he said it was, but man, what a werewolf mask that was that he wore. Amazing. And but I think the right person went over. They're going to continue this. This is basically the new bloodline kind of feud that we had with Roman and Jay and Jimmy and stuff like that. That's what this is. It's also given something for Jimmy to be involved in. And it's basically him and Jacob against the world in essence. And you're probably gonna see them recruiting some more. Hey, maybe even Jey Uso goes back with Jimmy and Jacob Fatu at some point. Now that he's kind of really not doing much over there now, and he's got other things going on. Maybe he even comes back. It's going to be perfect. Dan just mentioned it. I was just going to say Survivor Series. Yes. You're probably gonna have a big Samoan fight at Survivor Series, and yeah, I mean it's perfect. But and look, even Jeff, I have to even admit this too. I wasn't a big fan of Solo and what he was doing. He's changed. He's now a little more funny. He's doing things that makes you smile a little bit more. He was very stoic when he was with the whole thing with Roman and everything like that. But he's becoming almost reminding me, Jeff, of like a like how you see some of these mob movies, and you got that slimy mob boss who's also funny at the same time. That's kind of what he's reminding me of now, and I'm enjoying Solo more now than I did prior. But yeah, everything I pretty much expected to see out of this. Cage matches aren't certainly what they used to be. Whenever you'd get a cage match, you'd get blood, you'd get all that kind of stuff. This wasn't going to be that. And and obviously they're building up Tonga, and they're building up other guys too with all this that they're doing. But yeah, this is just a continuation of the family feud type of thing. And I thought this was good for what it needed to be.
Yeah, I enjoyed this too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at some point we will start to see some folks showing up to help Jacob.
Yeah.
Because he needs it at this point.
Yeah,
right?
he does. Yeah.
So I feel like we'll start to see some more people come to the aid of Jacob. But yeah, back to your point about Solo. He's always been doing these little things, subtle things in the background.
Yep. And
if you watch him closely, it's comedic gold. But now it's more out in the open. So I'm enjoying Solo and the MFTs, and I feel like we're gonna see one more match between these two. And if I had the pencil, and if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, I feel like Jacob might get a major push at some point over the next year. So
Yep, agreed. All right, and well, of course we got our Intercontinental Championship with Dom Mysterio and AJ Styles, and of course, I mean, us being the TNA guys, we're always rooting for AJ Styles. His obviously, he made it kind of clear that his career is winding down and stuff like that. And I know there's probably a lot of people that would have loved to see him beat Dirty Dom, but look, Dirty Dom is just he's a super popular guy right now in WWE. He's kind of left that shadow of Judgment Day a little bit behind him, I think. Which is probably good. That they didn't have a good night. Judgment Day was not, other than Dom, of course. But look, Dom is the future of this company, like it or not. And everybody loves to hate the guy, and that's good. That's what he's doing. But Dom has got a bright future ahead of him. He's been very good in the ring, and I think this is AJ's. This is just, I think, what we're going to see from AJ going forward. I think AJ is at the point, and of course, we saw that when he came to TNA and what he did for Leon Slater. that's, I think, where we're at with AJ right now. I think AJ is not, I don't think he gives a damn about titles anymore at this point in his career. I think he is just there to watch these young guys rising up that reminds AJ of himself when he was that age. And we've heard comments to that effect. I've heard interviews with him lately that he was on, doing things on some podcasts and things like that I listened to. And to me, that's what I'm hearing from him. I'm hearing that he's had a blessed career. And I'm hearing that, he's the guy now that wants to kind of pay it forward with these other wrestlers that he's seeing. So, again, I'm not surprised he lost. I know a lot of people are rooting for him, have that one last title run, and maybe he will. Maybe they've got that lined up for something for him to kind of say goodbye. Or maybe he comes back to TNA and has one final title run in TNA, as long as this crossover thing is continuing on. So we know how great AJ is. And I love AJ. I always have. He's been a part of some. I mean, I don't know if some people may forget about the match he had with Undertaker during the COVID time. Was one of the coolest matches we've ever seen. So I'm not surprised that Dom went over here. I think that they, again, WWE is very much behind him. You hear how they talk about him as the future of the company, and I believe that. So not surprised that the result happened. It happened. And personally, I think it was probably the right way to go, Jeff.
Yeah. And the Eddie Guerrero spot with the chair.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Was so fun. It was such a great callback. And even to the point of AJ's entrance. Did you see AJ's shirt?
Yes.
You see it said Styles Heat?
Yep. Yep.
Him driving in the lowrider and having a blonde son in the passenger seat, a.k.a. Dom when he was a kid.
Yep.
There's just so many different things that were fun about this match. And I'm trying to be careful with what I say because I'm trying to be good, Joe. When it comes time for wrestlers to hang up the boots, and I've heard a few say this, they want to leave the business better than what it was when they came in.
Yep.
They want to leave the place better than what it was that came in. Part of that is when you have the opportunity to work with young talent who are as popular and as talented as Dominic Mysterio, you do the job. Because 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when AJ is not in wrestling, an IC title reign really doesn't do anything to his career. He's already a Hall of Famer in everywhere he's ever been.
Yep.
So an IC title reign doesn't really help him or hurt him. But it does help Dom. And picking up a win over someone with the name recognition and star power of AJ Styles, that's significant for his career. So I thought that there was a point where I thought AJ was going to win. That was probably my prediction, but going into the match. But the more I look at how they feature Dom and what they do in terms of advertising and marketing him, it's just like, okay, this dude's a no-brainer. You may love him, you may not. That's fine, but dude's a star. And he's got a match coming up at Triple Mania for that AAA title, and I could see him winning it. So, yeah,
which would be another huge step in his career. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Dan, agreeing with you there. Dylan wants to know who we think takes the IC title off of Dom at some point.
Jacob Fatu.
No, okay. Next in line, possibly. Yep. I could see that. You could end up seeing at some point Dom getting in bigger title pictures too. Mm-hmm. Depending on how long this reign for Cody is going to be. A lot of people were talking about even before Cody lost the title. that Cody and Dom might be something to see in the future. So we'll see where it goes. And then last but not least, guys, the main event that we kind of started it all. We're bringing it all back around again. John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Look, again, with this, they did a great job of swerving us with this, I think, because I didn't know how this was going to go. I thought for sure that Cena was putting on that good face. I thought that he was saying all the right things, that he would end up just turning around. And Jeff, we saw it for a split second. We saw it when he dragged Cody down that ramp, and when he came out from underneath the thing, when he was coming up in that elevator, and you saw that nasty ass smile on Cena's face. That was almost the exact same smile when he snaked him the first time. So you kind of got a little bit of it, and it was just, again, the match between two guys who you probably wouldn't necessarily consider them being or having a match that could be considered for match like a 5-star match or a match of the year. And this was really good. Both of them were amazing in this match, and it was a street fight.
Yeah.
And you just, again, you did not know where it was going to go. They had us fooled with the Cena speech. All of a sudden, everybody's like, why did he all of a sudden turn? And is he telling the truth? And there was always that little bit of a doubt. And then you kind of thought that, oh man, are we going to get The Rock? Is there going to be outside interference here? Is something going to come back that's going to allow him to extend, his reign a little bit more? I don't know, but all I know is I saw an unbelievable street fight between these two. And Jeff, you nailed it when we were talking about it before we came on here. Jeff called it old school match, which it was. It really was. And they both just put each other through the ringer. And I've said, and I believe this. This was one of the best matches I saw Cena wrestle. Honestly, one of the best. And he might have saved it for this. I don't know, but this is one of the best matches I've seen him wrestle. This was, and Jeff described it perfectly. It was old school, and it was a fantastic match. And at the end, he put Cody over. You saw the celebration at the end. You saw him hugging Cody and stuff this time, and showing him respect. Cody showing respect back to John by giving him that ring and walking out. And then we'll talk about who showed up. We'll talk about that last. But first, before we do, Jeff, your thoughts on the match.
I had a thought. I had a bit of an epiphany at the end of the match. And I thought to myself for a moment, I really hate what social media and quote unquote dropping the curtain on the business and giving people behind the scenes looks and, giving people creative license to fantasy book without any kind of understanding or regard for storylines, and then they get pissed off when things don't go their way. I was mad at myself because I sat there waiting, Joe. I sat there waiting for either Travis Scott, The Rock, or somebody to come out and do something instead of just sitting there
and enjoying
a hell of a match that John Cena and Cody Rhodes put on. Because that's what it was. It was a hell of a match. And there were so many points in this match that just stood out to me. The one which I thought was hilarious was John Cena doing a Canadian destroyer on the outside, and then looking at the camera saying, "Oh, you thought I only had like 4 or 5 moves, right?" Well, hey, seeing that smile that you were talking about from Cena,
Yep.
And I don't know how many people caught this, but during the entirety of the match, Cody was having an internal battle with himself.
Oh yeah.
At one point, talking to himself, saying, "It's okay. It's what you have to do. It's okay." Brilliant.
Yeah.
And you don't need a lot of run-ins to tell that story. You don't need a lot extra to tell that John Cena realized tonight, because he mouthed this at the end of the match, that's the best that I could give you. Yep. That's the best that I have. That it was great. And to your point about Cena, this was one, I mean, outside of some of his matches with Punk.
Oh yeah.
This was one of his better matches in his career, and I enjoyed every single bit of it. And man, Michael Cole kept reiterating, we need to appreciate this guy while we still have him, because end of this year, we're not going to have a Cena comeback tour and wrestling a few matches a year. It's just not going to happen. So, this was great.
I'm glad they did it, Jeff, and I'm glad they're giving him. Now he's going to obviously be going. He's going to be over in Perth. He's going to go travel a little bit with them, and I'm glad I'm really glad, and I was really hoping because I had thought from the beginning that he was going to lose the title at SummerSlam. In fact, I think like 3 months ago, I may have said he was going to lose it to CM Punk. But I had thought that this would have been the proper time to do it, because you want him to be celebrated as people remember him for those last 3 or 4 months. And I'm glad he will get that now. Not that he wasn't being cheered and stuff like that, but he was a heel, and he was kind of a slimy heel, saying how bad he hated the fans. Well, now he could kind of celebrate with them as he goes out. And I'm going to just go right into this, because this is, to me, why they pushed the button and called Brock. He and Brock had huge feuds, huge. And what better way to send Cena out on a winning note than to be beating his biggest rival, even a guy who he said he never really thought he might be able to beat, and give him that as his way to leave wrestling. Yeah. I really can't think of another opponent that he could have had at this point. Yeah. He's obviously not a heel anymore, so he's going out as a face. So what do you bring back? Now, I'm not talking, guys, look, please understand, I am not going into here details about a lawsuit. I'm not going into all of that, okay? That is for the people outside of me and outside of everywhere else to decide what's going on with that. I'm not talking about whether it's right or wrong. I'm not talking about whether WWE should have done this or not and mocking what all the socials are going and raving about now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, as a wrestling story, this makes a hell of a lot of sense. Because of what's, and I am sure that Cena was consulted for this, as well as who would you want, John, to be your last feud, where you're going to be going to Perth with this guy. You're going to be coming back. You're going to have Survivor Series maybe with this guy. You're going to have your last match possibly with this guy. Who do you want? I'm sure he was asked. And so why? You're going to ask why? There's the answer, I think, pretty clearly. Because of the feud that they have had. And look, what he is doing now, like Brock or not, okay? And I'm talking about Brock the wrestler, not Brock outside of wrestling, Brock the wrestler. Like him or not, What he is doing now, what did he do when he was here last? Put over Cody Rhodes, right? He put over Cody. He shook Cody's hand, didn't he? Or gave him a hug. I can't really remember now. But he put Cody over. What's he going to do for Cena? He's going to put Cena over even more than he already is. So that is why I think the call was made to bring him back. And again, I'm not arguing about is it right or wrong. I'm talking about in the scope of wrestling and what it means for John Cena's retirement. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's why I think he was brought back. So it was shocking. They shocked everybody. I didn't get to watch the after show, and I'm sure Triple H was probably asked about it. And I'm sure we'll hear. I just read that Cena specifically asked to work with Brock. That's straight from the mouth of, okay. Did Triple H say that, Big Dan, in the press conference? Because I didn't get to see it yet. But that's my feelings on the matter. But yeah, I mean, was it shocking? Absolutely was shocking. Absolutely was shocking. And he went over and he went in and he put Cody over. He put Cody over. That's his most recent stint in the company. I'm not talking what he did for Randy Orton 10 years ago. He put Cody over. That's the most recent thing he's done. So I'm looking at it from now. I'm not looking at Brock from 5, 7, 10 years ago. I'm looking at Brock right now. And again, I'm not looking at Brock during the Vince McMahon era. I'm looking at Brock now in the Triple H era and what he is going to do for John Cena. That's what I'm looking at. So, Jeff, your thoughts?
I have a lot. I'm going to keep them short because some should stay in my brain and not escape my lips.
Okay.
But in terms of the lawsuits and all that stuff, I didn't read the legal documents. I don't know what he was accused of in totality. I think I have an idea.
It was part of the whole Vince and the secretary stuff.
Yeah. So obviously, any of that is despicable. And
of course.
It's terrible. And that I just feel like us as human beings have to understand that we all should have the right to choose, and we should all have, we shouldn't be under anybody's thumb.
Mm-hmm.
From a wrestling standpoint, because I'm going to get back to that. So, from a wrestling standpoint, this makes so much sense from John Cena finishing, to borrow some terminology, finishing his story. Brock, if you really think about John Cena's career, he's done everything.
Yep.
But what's the one blemish on his career? His lack of success against Brock Lesnar.
Exactly. Yep.
Think about Suplex City.
Yep.
And how many times John Cena got suplexed at SummerSlam all those years ago. I lost count.
Yep.
This makes a ton of sense because now it's like, okay, going out, can I conquer the mountain that always gave me problems? That's what this is. In terms of when it all ends or what we get next or all of that, I don't know, but I feel like if you want to know, you might want to tune in to Raw maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But I think from a story perspective, it makes a ton of sense from a wrestling standpoint. Now back to the allegations, because that's what they are at this point. is allegations. And again, I don't know everything. I'm not gonna say definitely because I don't want to get us in trouble. That's why I'm
No,
saying
yeah.
allegations at this
Yep. Yep.
point. There's a comment, Joe, that I really want to say, and I don't want to get myself or anybody in trouble. But I'm trying to find a way to say this without it being like a gut punch, but maybe that's what's needed. I just think it's interesting how we when we get people that return, and we get people that have questionable things or terrible things that have been alleged about them, we get to this point where if there's someone that's associated with something that we don't like, I'm saying this for all of us because I think we all do this, but if they're associated with something that we don't like, the negative is just 50 times more extravagant to us. It's like they're a real piece of shit. And maybe you're right. But I think if we're going to do that, when it's somebody we don't like, we need to apply the same logic when it's someone that we do. So I'm just going to say, if you're going to hate something, hate across the board, or, kind of be a little more logical with it and not lead with hatred. Because I feel like that's where a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, a lot of stuff that I'm hearing is coming from that place. And again, I don't know what Brock Lesnar did. And I feel terrible for the victim in that situation.
Yep.
And if he did something wrong, he should be held accountable. Period. Full stop. As a wrestling fan, tonight made sense to me. As a human being who has a daughter and wants to see her protected and have her rights protected, I'm kind of not sure how I'm supposed to feel. Because I think when we start playing this person's a terrible person Olympics, when we start going down the list and even some of our favorites and some of the people that we prop up, if we really dig into their past, are you still feeling the same? So while this makes sense to me from a storyline perspective and standpoint, I got to take a little bit of a break. I got to sit back and see how they do this going forward. And I think I kind of rambled there for a few minutes to basically say that, but I think here's the thing. If you don't like it, don't like it. That's cool. All right. You don't have to like it. You don't have to watch it. And I say the same for myself. But I think we have to start getting to a point where let's, as fans, really be honest with each other and with ourselves and ask ourselves the question, why am I watching this? Because again, not a grievance segment, but I'm going to say this, and this is going to be the last thing that I say for right now, because I feel like I've been driven to this point. A lot of y'all are really making wrestling not fun to talk about. And I'm not singling anybody out. And when I say a lot of y'all, I'm talking about social media. I'm talking about a bunch of different things. Dirt sheets, all that. A lot of y'all are making this not fun. And, if take it how you want it, but at some point, we're either going to enjoy what we see, and this is kind of back to the whole conversation at the beginning when we're talking about night one, but if we're either going to enjoy it and be happy that we're being entertained, or we're going to be miserable. And if we're going to be miserable, why be miserable? Watch it. Do something else. Life is too freaking short. So I'm done.
Yep. We've said it many, many times, and I've said it a bazillion times. There is way too much out there that could entertain you,
Absolutely.
that can make you happy. Life is way too short to spend it being miserable, watching something that maybe you don't even enjoy, or maybe you do, but you don't want to admit it for some strange reason. But yeah, I agree 100%. This is wrestling, guys. It's supposed to be fun. I had fun. That's my whole thing for the last couple of days. I enjoyed it. And look, I couldn't always say that this year. We were going through some spots for some months in the middle of this year where wrestling was kind of rough. It had some rough patches. And I'm not just talking one company. I'm talking everything was going a little rough, but I had fun. I enjoyed this. And yeah, like Jeff said, if you find yourself for whatever reason having entertainment that you're watching, but yet is making you angry, upset, hurt, or you're not enjoying, I think you need to have a good look in the mirror. And I think you need to ask yourself why you're doing that to yourself. Because I feel bad for you if that's true. Because there is so much more to life than that and getting upset about it. But yeah, that's great stuff, man. Great stuff. I agree with you 100%. 100%. But yeah, man, look, overall, Jeff, let's give our scores. Yeah. And we'll score the show. Do you want to do separate night one, night two, or do you want to? We did night one, yeah.
Yeah, we did. Night one. Let's do night two.
Yeah, let's do night two, and then we'll call it a night because we're here kind of late. So, all right. So yeah, give us your scores of night two. I am going to say, what do we do out of 10, right?
Yeah, out of 10. Night
two. I gave night one a 9. Night two, I think, was even better. I haven't given a show a 10. I'm going 9.75 for night two. I thought the main event was great. I thought the matches in between were all done very well, and I didn't even see the first two. So I'm sure from what Jeff's telling me about that tag team match and stuff like that, I'm probably going to love that. And I'm sure the women's match was amazing too. So I'm gonna, without even seeing those other matches, from what I saw, I'm giving it 9.75 for night two.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. I thought it was a really, really strong night. Yeah, I enjoyed this weekend. I did. I really did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun.
Yep, absolutely. Well, there you go, guys. Truth Enjoyer said, what if I stuck my head out and said I thought it was good and enjoyed both nights? That's great, dude. I'm glad you did. That's what it's all about. Ultimately, like I said, this is entertainment, and you should enjoy it. If not, why are you watching? It's like masochism in a way if you're not enjoying it. So, 9 out of 10 says John G. 9.75 says Dylan. Cena and Cody are the joint matches of the night. Chris was 9.5. Heather was an 8. Deanna was a 9. Let me see if I missed anyone. Night 2 turned it up to 11. The TLC match was the best of the night. I'm excited to watch that, actually. And the post-main event return was a legitimate shock. I was at a watch party, and everybody popped hard for Brock's comeback. Nobody knows about his off-screen issues. Yeah, look, I mean, it's been well documented. It was all part of the whole Vince stuff, which was, just there's no other way to describe it other than gross. And like Jeff said, if he is involved, he does indeed deserve to be punished to the fullest extent for his involvement. What I'm not going to do, though, is I'm not going to play lawyer. I'm not going to play person in charge of, and like Jeff said too, Jeff and I both have daughters. I have 2 of them. Do I want to see anybody put into any position that woman came out and said she was put into? Pff, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if he is involved in that, and that is still ongoing, whatever the case might be, they're investigating. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But if he was involved in that, then he deserves to be given the fullest extent of any type of punishment that he deserves to be involved with it. But look, yeah, I understand people popping for him. They popped in the event for him too. So yeah, 100% I understand that. But on the other hand, the other stuff is not for me to decide. That's for courts to decide and all that other kind of stuff. So Sean Rousset says night 1 for me was a 9 and night 2, 9.5. Brandon says night 1 was 7 out of 10 and night 2 was 9.2. He even gave us an average score. That's pretty good this late at night. 8.1. All right, well, hey, there you go. I'm just saying that I enjoyed it, and I have missed 2 matches, and I'm excited to go back and watch them. Yep. So yeah, it's I'm excited to go back and watch it. I had a blast. I'm looking forward to Raw tomorrow for sure. Yeah, that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's late. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you for coming out, especially those of you that are missing sleep and stuff like that to tune in. Remember to drop a like on the stream for us tonight before you leave. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're watching it afterwards and you have not done so. And also remember to hit the notification bell to be notified about when we got future content. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk probably all about that awesome tag team match that I'm going to go watch. Of course, Chris and Jeff join them for Fireflies Forever. And then on Thursday, we'll be back for TNA. We got a TNA pay-per-view coming up really soon again as well. I think it's coming up on the
16th or
16th. Yeah, 15th, I think, Friday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got that coming up on the 15th for TNA. And I missed TNA, but I managed to go back and see a lot of it. And I could see some storylines that are shifting a little bit, especially with Joe Hendry and things like that. And, of course, Santana. And how about Moose getting a title shot? So that's exciting. So a lot of exciting stuff going on in TNA as well. And we're going to be on the road for them to Bound for Glory, which is coming up before you know it. We're almost done with the summer, as sad as that is to say. But yeah, thanks guys for coming out. We appreciate all of you, and please stay safe. Be kind to one another always, and hopefully we will see you all for our next show on Tuesday night for Fireflies Forever. Have a great one, guys, and have a great rest of your night, and we will talk to you all soon. Good night, everybody.